All right, guys, so we should be able to see the screen now. Let me open this up here. And we're taking a look at the newest missions available for the Operational Art of War 4. As you know, last time we played, we did manage to take a look at quite a lot of the missions, but we didn't take a look at the newest missions, and these are the missions that are going to be in the Operational Art of War 4, probably not the only ones. Now, there are a few here that I find absolutely fascinating. Probably one of the first ones is going to be the Battle of Berlin. I mean, come on, Germany's last stand on the Eastern Front. That's pretty cool. No matter what kind of gamer you are, that's got to be somewhat fascinating. Another one that I find extremely fascinating is the Chinese Civil War. This is really cool. So we either get to play as the forces of nationalist China, or we get to play as Mao Zedong and his communist brigades. I really think we might jump into that for this Let's Play. We've also got the Battle of Pearl Harbor, which is incredible. We've got the Sino-Soviet War of 1969. And this was really more of a border conflict, if that makes sense. But I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a look at the rest of these, of course. We've got World at War in 1941 to 45, 43 to 45 as well, and of course, the early Soviet Union campaigns. There's even a Taiwan campaign, which is an attempt for the Chinese to essentially take over Taiwan. Hey, how's it going, Dave? Good to see you, man. Good to see everybody. Let's see. Okay. So I think I'm going to take, and we can look at a few of these guys. We don't just have to stick to one. We can certainly take a look at a few. I'm going to take the Chinese Civil War, and for this, I want to make sure that I am playing as the People's Liberation Army. So I want the computer to play as the National Republic. I believe I've got this right. And we're going to jump right in here. Let's go for it. Glory to Mao, hopefully. Yeah, Mark, that's actually a really good suggestion, and we do have something similar, which is North Korea 2013. It's not exactly, totally modern, fairly modern, of course, but yeah, a current day one would be cool. Looks amazing already, says Dave Jiju. Very cool. So we can see here that the Republic, the Army of the Republic of China, has a lot of forces. We definitely want to be careful here in how we approach this particular battle. Okay, so we are playing as the People's Liberation Army. And we've also got some new news summaries. I've noticed a lot of new news summaries for a tremendous amount of scenarios. It says here, the communist spokesman, in this case, I guess Mao, would probably not be the spokesman. He would just be the puppet behind the throne. Claims KMT poised for attack. The KMT stands for the Kuomintang. Red Lu's big base in Dabishan. Fighting spreads. Jining has been reduced to ruins. And as you can see here, we already have some major attacks. And basically, if you just take a look here, there's a tremendous amount of damage done. Now we're the defending party in this case. One of our units was wiped out completely, just completely crushed. So we've got to be careful here for sure. There's a nice map over here in the lower left corner. But as you can see, especially in the Chinese Civil War, there's so much going on that we really need to sort of find a way to start attacking the enemy, but at the same time, sort of keep our position without losing it. And that's going to require us to obviously move up here and start actually hitting the enemy units. We've got some security forces here. I think we could probably go ahead and hit them. Let's do this. All right, I definitely need to bring in some reinforcements here. So this unit right here is the PLA, People's Liberation Army Militia. And looks like we've got some more PLA militia over here. I can tell that with this campaign, this would require a lot of time. And that's one of the beautiful things about this game. Give me 1 second. Okay. So we can actually zoom out and you can see the massive, massive map. As a matter of fact, I think this may be the biggest map I've seen so far in the game. And we are playing, of course, as the wonderful People's Liberation Army. So I definitely don't want to lose Jining. I want to go ahead and get to Jining quickly and basically try to defend it. Try to defend all the cities that are not currently under our control. Here we've got the National Republic. I'm actually not entirely sure what the NRA stands for. I know the Kuomintang. I'm assuming that the NRA are the Kuomintang. And no, it's not the National Rifle Association. This is China. Let's keep moving forward. So I'm going to go ahead and take... Actually, no, we don't want to move forward there. But we definitely want to attack this area. So I'm hoping this is going to be sufficient. We're going to plan the attack. Wow, Damien Hiroshima. Very cool, man. So you get to choose one of our streams coming up here. Now, obviously, it does have to be one of our games, but that's awesome. Really cool. Okay, he wants to see Sanctus reach. So we absolutely... I have no free hands right now, Muso, but if you could write down his request, I think we can absolutely make that happen very soon. So I'm going to plan this attack. Now, for those of you that are new to this game, there is a planning phase where you essentially decide what units you're choosing to attack, what units you're choosing to bombard the enemy. And here, the chance of success are actually very poor. Now here, the probability of success is good because we've engaged also these units, the 8th column and the PLA militia. So I'm going to go ahead and okay that attack, and hopefully we take out some of the enemy units here. Looks like we've got some more enemy units here. A lot of enemy units to the south. So I'm going to try to boost our border up a bit. Military police units. I think we can absolutely go ahead and try and take them out. I'm assuming that the military police would not have too much to fight back with. Probability of success is poor. This is fair, so I'll take it. I'll take it. If it doesn't work out, so be it. I'm going to go ahead and grab some more units here. And we've just got a tremendous amount of first columns from the People's Liberation Army. And we're going to go ahead and plan an attack. Now here we have a lot more military police units, and as you can see, our likelihood of success is very poor. So I'm going to say no to that, cancel the attack. We can definitely still carry out that attack, but I just want to cancel all units attack there. Pretty sure this one was still... They don't just have police units here, by the way. They've got some other units. But look at how much land we could take if we manage to get down south. Now, obviously, for those of you that are new to wargaming, this is a game that requires a lot of thinking, especially when you're playing a mission like this. Now, I'll admit, this mission right here is actually quite a complicated one. There's a lot going on. The Chinese Civil War, like most civil wars, didn't have specific borders. You know, it was just kind of happening all over the place. But we are going to try to destroy what looks to me to be a riverboat. And this is a Navy riverboat. And look at that. We didn't even need to plan an attack. We were so overwhelming here in our attack that we basically were able to break right through. But we still have some more units. So I'm going to go ahead and set these guys up. once again, success is very poor. So I'm not going to be attacking there. It's just no point. We already moved one of his friends back. That's certainly going to help us a bit. And I'm going to try to liberate the city of Anyang. There we go. Oh, no! We've got enemies here. I was not expecting that. Well, I kind of was. Let's grab this guy. Let's get to the south of Anyang. We're also going to cut off the railroad there. And let's see if we can move any more of these guys. So I'm going to be sending a ferry over. A lot of enemy units up here. I mean, the amount of enemies actually in this area is frightening. Let's plan an attack. And hopefully this will be sufficient. A PLA engineer squad. We've got a People's Liberation Army engineer squad. And our chances of winning are very poor. Once again, I don't think I'm going to go through with that attack. So let me cancel all units attack. Let's jump. We do want to try to take as many of the enemy cities as possible. Get to Yulin. And there we go. We just liberated the city of Yulin from the nationalists. Hello, Laird. Alright, I'm liking this right now. We're definitely taking some land. We're engaging the nationalists. But again, another issue is if you take a look at these units, a lot of these units are militia units. That's not going to be very effective against the enemy. Let's move this guy forward as well. Move this guy forward. And we're going to hit this enemy armored car unit. And look at that. We actually managed to push them back without much of a fight at all. I'm going to keep attacking. And we're getting close to the city of Baoding, which is definitely a location we want to take to show these guys we mean business. I'm going to go ahead and attack this military police checkpoint. One thing's for sure, probability of success is excellent here, so we should probably be able to wipe out that military police checkpoint. They've also got security divisions, which I'm guessing is something kind of like secret police, basically waiting to take us on. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Let's plan an attack here. Now here we do have some artillery, which could assist us, but the enemy has a lot of men here. Just look at this. They've got a tremendous amount of garrisons. They've got a tremendous amount of troops just waiting here. So no, we're not going to attack with these guys. Let's cancel that. Abort. Abort, abort. But of course, we want to bring in some more troops. So probably bring in some reinforcements here. Ooh, look at that. They've got some reinforcements of their own. I think once we bring in some reinforcements here, we will probably end up managing to actually do pretty well on this attack. But again, that's just a guess. Just a guess. Let's go ahead and try this. And once again, even with this much, just our likelihood of success is very poor. Somebody mentioned that this is a brigade. It's quite possible. We also just spotted some actual tanks. So this is definitely an issue. And those tanks are absolutely going to help the enemy. So I think we go ahead, we stop all attacks, we abort, and think of something new. I mean, at least we're cutting them off. I think that should count for something. So let's keep on moving. Security forces at Chengde. Bring in another security force over here. Or another unit to take on the security force, I should say. 1, 2, 3. And look at that. Probability of success is excellent. And this is NRA security, so it's a security brigade. What is this? What is that? Wait a minute. Ooh, the Yunnan clique. So I think I might be starting to understand here who we're up against. We're not just up against the Kuomintang. We're also up against the cliques. We just liberated the city here. We're against the Guangxi clique, the Yunnan clique. There's a few others. Oh, thank you. Great question, Piddles. It covers a tremendous amount of time. Essentially, slightly before World War I, all the way to modern day. It's just got a tremendous amount of different things you can do, and also the ability to modify the game and really play around with it. Now, obviously, you have to have some modding talent, but this is actually, as far as a game that you can mod goes, this one is actually pretty straightforward. There we go. We've taken another city, and I think this is going to be the key to victory, is basically get behind the nationalist lines and just take their cities, just cause chaos. As you can see there, our militia was able to take out their garrison. These garrisons are not willing to die to stop our armies. They're just not. Who knows? They could be communist sympathizers themselves. They could want to join us. Look at that. Look at how quickly we're sending these military police units back. You can see that, without a doubt, we have some units here that are extremely strong. There we go. Weifang is now ours. And we're going to try to go to Guangdao, but it looks like there's actually some marine infantry defending this area. So let's plan an attack. I wonder if this one unit can do well. The probability of success is impossible to predict. I trust that our men can get a pretty good result here. Although I wouldn't mind bringing some reinforcements down, so give us a second, will you? We're leaving Yontai undefended, so I'm going to move this guy here. 1, 2. Probability of success is very poor. I'm going to go ahead and basically just accept. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Piddly, and for those of you that haven't noticed, because some of you have seen our recent streams, or our previous streams with this game, just take a look at the landscape. So much has been added. You can actually see the farms people, are working on. You can see flatlands, you can see the forests, the mountains. It's looking really, really good. I mean, each time I see this game, it looks better and better each time. So I'm quite pleased with that. Try to get to Datong. Ooh. Wow, they actually held. Let's move forward a little bit more. Success is poor. I'm going to trust that they can make it. Remember, saying that the success rate is poor doesn't necessarily mean you're going to lose the battle. It just means that the chances of you winning have definitely been reduced. Let's actually move these guys here. We can go ahead and help out with this battle. Do that, and 1. Our losses will be extremely heavy, but it's not giving us any sort of explanation of success, so I'm going to trust that this is going to work. We'll end the turn here, and we're going to take a look probably at a few more campaigns, scenarios, etc. after, because this is one massive campaign. It's a great one. It's awesome, but it's definitely a big one, without a doubt. Donghua is totally under our control. We don't have to worry about that. Basically, this area here in the north is pretty much under People's Liberation Army control. So let's go ahead. Let's end the end the turn, excuse me, and turn it over to the Nationalists. Now, of course, if you were playing this game on your own, you would want to take a lot longer to play this entire this mission or this turn, because there's actually a lot going on here and a lot that we have to do. But it's good to see. Look at that. We just got the enemy to retreat there with the PLA. And I can't wait to see how we do in terms of casualties here. Remember, the Chinese Civil War was absolutely vicious. So I'm not in the least bit going to be surprised at massive casualties. So here we go, guys. Look at this. Interesting. Over here, the PLA attack. Look at the amount of actual, sort of information that you can garner just from this. So it shows us exactly what our units have been doing. exactly what the military police did. They retreated. And we can actually take a look here at the defender loss button. And we can see that the civil police squad, we destroyed 7 of them. The military police squad, we destroyed 12. And the reconnaissance rifle team, we destroyed 8 of them. Not too shabby. We've also got the combat chart button here that's also quite helpful. And we're going to go ahead and end the turn. Now, to be fair, we lost some guys too, but I'm pretty much happy with that. And it's back to us. Or sorry, it's up to the NRA now. And I believe it's the Republic. It could be the Kuomintang, just the Republic, because the Kuomintang were a republic. Well, a fake republic, that is to say. It does, Piddles. We do have entirely naval battles. We've actually got the Battle of Pearl Harbor, as well as many others, which are entirely naval battles. But again, the game is in quite an early phase still. You know, we're still doing a lot of work on this game, so we're not going to be showing you the naval battles today. But it's definitely something that we will eventually take a look at. We want to show you guys the best this game has to offer. So we're not going to show you the naval stuff yet, but yes, it's coming, and yes, it's absolutely under production. Oh, Blizz Gamer. It happens. I like that response. It does. Oh, absolutely, Captain High. Absolutely. And I must say, the Kuomintang is without a doubt hitting back here. They're not letting us get away without a fight. Don't forget, guys, I mean, for those of you that don't already know this, I'm assuming a lot of you guys that are watching the stream, you're well aware of what the game has to offer because you've probably played the previous iterations of the game. But keep in mind, you can play as both sides. You don't have to play as the communists. You could play as the nationalists. You know, it's totally up to you, and this is true for every single battle in the game. You don't have to play as one side. You don't even have to play as one or the other side. You could actually play as both. You could play against yourself. You know, especially if you've got a friend over or something like that. You could do your turn. You let your friend do his turn, etc., etc. Obviously, you want to make sure he doesn't see your screen, but it could be a lot of fun. There technically could be, Mark. There technically could be. I think, and again, I'm not a modder. I would assume that the naval battles are probably going to be a bit harder to create. Now look at this, guys. The news summary is awesome. I love the news summary. This could just be me because I'm a big fan of AARs and I'm a big fan of trying to sort of create, I guess you could say, use your imagination to imagine what happens during your games. And I'm sure a lot of us strategy gamers do that. You know, sort of when my army marched through this city and defeated the enemy, what happened to the city? And this game lets you know exactly what happened. As you can see, Jining has been reduced to ruins. The Reds lose their big base in Dabaishan. So we've lost a big base in Dabaishan. Qingdao has been reduced to ruins, and the NRA, and this is of course the Kuomintang, successfully defended Qingdao. Beijing, it says Beiping, but this is of course Beijing. I believe this is the Chinese writing, not the actual characters, the Chinese characters. Beiping has been reduced to ruins. NRA successfully defended Beiping, and July 14th, 1946, Li Zhu's forces freed from the North China Plain pocket. Very, very cool stuff here. As you can see here, this represents the friendly losses. And actually, in this case, the friendly losses are referring to the Kuomintang. So they lost very few men, and they killed a lot of our men here. In fact, if we take a look at one of the worst battles, here where we didn't even do any damage to them. They just crushed us. See, not a single one of the enemy died. Not a single one. And we only had one unit here, the Dadao team. Not sure what a Dadao team is, but nonetheless, definitely got crushed there. Ah, that makes sense. Thanks, Piddly. That definitely makes sense. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a new scenario, guys. So let's begin new game. Just always, like I said, I want to show you guys what we have to offer here and exactly what there is. So you can see there's a lot of newer scenarios, or I should say a lot of World War II scenarios that are new. One thing that I find interesting here, I want to take a look at it, is Fall Grun. What's this? So this is the World War II German plan for an aggressive war against Czechoslovakia. The plan was partially carried out as regards psychological warfare and use of paramilitary actions. However, planned open war didn't take place due to French and British appeasement. So basically, the Germans marched through Czechoslovakia without any real issues, and this actually did occur. There wasn't really much fighting, if any at all. There was a small German minority in Czechoslovakia. Clearly, the Germans wanted to defend those folks, and they moved in. So that's an interesting take. You know, what if the Czechoslovaks had actually fought back? Now, this is interesting. We do have, somebody mentioned a modern-day Korea scenario. The closest thing we do have is Korea 2013. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to play through this one, but we'll let the Koreans play, or the North Koreans play as the computer. Wow, look at this, guys. So this is, of course, South Korea, who we're playing as, and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is North Korea, and they're going to begin their attack. Whoa, look at that. That's a lot of bad guys. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is a true invasion. So we'd like to get your guys' feedback. I mean, is it possible? Do you guys think, especially with the recent back and forth, you know, do you guys think that there is a possibility for war between North and South Korea? I'm not so sure it would happen. I think it would be pretty difficult and pretty much end with Seoul being completely destroyed. There's no doubt that South Korea would suffer. And look at that, we've got some nukes. Look at this. Ooh, interesting. So maybe the North Koreans are able to use nuclear bombs. Look at that! North Korea launches nuclear attacks. And guys, I promise you, I would tell you guys if I knew this was coming. I had no idea that we were going to have some nukes in this game. So now we know we've got nukes. And of course, we're going to want to use this against the enemy. The nuclear attack, wow, look at that. On Gangneung. Gangneung has been contaminated, not at all surprising. Tell me they attacked Seoul. They didn't quite attack Seoul, but they are definitely poised for an attack. Yes, there are definitely air units, Dave's usual. It's a great question. And actually, let me try to set up an attack here where we can hopefully see some of our air units. Let's see. We don't seem to have any here. Essentially, if you take a look here at the support area, and I hope you guys see the pointing finger I'm using on the combat planner, the support area will actually list what forms of support you have. So a lot of the times, for instance, you might have artillery support. A lot of the times you might have helicopter support or bomber support or, you know, even fighter plane support. So yes, that absolutely makes up part of the game. Very good question. The amount of North Koreans here is huge. We can see here our chances of success are very poor, and that's partly because look at how many units the North Koreans have assembled here on the border. That is intense. And we've also got some guerrilla units, some North Korean guerrilla units that are behind our lines. Look at that. Look at that. We're just chasing them around. Okay, pretty nice, pretty nice. Gonna move forward a bit more. And actually, this might be one of our air units. Unfortunately not, but we can fire with this DMZ defense outpost. Hello, Warrior Donut. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I'm gonna get our guys a bit closer here. because I do want to see the effects of one battle. Now, the one thing I don't know how to do, once again, this is quite new to me, is launch a nuke. You know, we know that we also have nuclear weapons, and the North Koreans have already fired theirs. So clearly, if I was playing a campaign here, I would be launching nukes. But I've never launched a nuke in this game. As a matter of fact, I've never seen a nuke in this game. So you already know that there's a bunch of new stuff here. One of those things being the ability to use nuclear weapons. Let's plan an attack over here. Feel a little more confident. And by the way, Dave, if you want to take a look, here we have some support. I want to see what kind of support it is. So I think this is artillery support. We'll take a closer look here. Yes, this is an artillery brigade, but this is similar to the way that the Air Force support would happen. So you would have in that support area, you'd have a picture of a bomber or a fighter plane, something like this. I think right now the North Koreans look a lot stronger than we do, without a doubt. I think we need nuclear weapons to get a victory here. Likelihood of success is very poor there. I mean, they've gotten behind our lines. This is scary stuff. We've got some reserve units. What the hell are the 4th Corps? How did they even get here, first of all? There we go. Likelihood of success is excellent. All right, so this is going to show us the planned combats. If you ever want to take a look at, you know, like maybe you forgot to actually do something, you probably want to refer to this. Our chances of winning the other battles are very poor, but realistically, I just want to go ahead and take a look at what the casualty rating is going to be like for these battles. So let's end the turn and turn it over to the DPRK, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Here we go, guys. Defend, boys, defend! Typically there is, and Mark, another issue that there might not be as much artillery. We might need to move it up. Remember, we're not expecting an attack necessarily. But here we go. Let's take a look at one of our attacks. So, in this case, yeah, the DPRK won every single one of these battles. There's no doubt about it. I'm just going to take a look at one of them here, and I want to see the losses for the defender, which would be the DPRK. And you can see, look at this. I mean, despite the fact that they won, the losses here are unbelievable. You know, these represent brigades, battalions, squads. 27 destroyed for assault AT squads, 10 destroyed for assault squads. Whether we win or lose, this really would be as close to Armageddon as any countries could possibly get. I mean, the amount of casualties here must number in the tens of thousands easily. And as for our side, we took it even worse. Look at that. So many units destroyed, a lot of units disabled. We are getting replacements for these units, which makes sense. We have a tremendous amount of replacements, but I'm not sure if we could hold out entirely against a North Korean assault. Could be quite difficult. Let's take a look at one more, guys. After this, of course, now it's the DPRK's turn. And they are definitely trying to get to Seoul as soon as they can. Oh, very hard mark. They are smashing us, without a doubt. Okay, so as you can see, a serious attack. And look at this, guys. This is amazing. Once again, we're going back to the news summary. Kangnung has been contaminated. Camp Courtney has been contaminated. Camp Courtney has been reduced to ruins. Camp Courtney is, of course, a U.S. camp, so that's not going to be good. Pamjuman has been reduced to ruins. Refugees crowd ROK supply line. So once again, this is another reason I, excuse me, I absolutely love the news summary in this game. You know, it gives you just information that really make it quite easy to build up an AR and really make it quite easy to imagine this sort of conflict actually taking place. Of course, there would be refugees. Of course, they'd be trying to run. And this, of course, is going to cause us a little more difficulty. And they fired a nuclear weapon on Busan. And this actually came from a North Korean submarine. Now, the UN is retaliating. That's the good news. So we'll probably be getting UN reinforcements at some point during this particular campaign. And if any of you are familiar with the first Korean War, you would know that the UN declared war on Korea then as well, and sent quite a lot of men to attack. Now, here we go, guys. Actually, Dave can take a look here. If you take a look, Dave, this is our support, and this is where we get some bomber support. So as you can see, we've got some US planes now that could help us out. And this is where you get your support from. So depending on where the plane is, of course, that's definitely an issue. You need to make sure that your plane is, well, basically in a position where it can assist the attack. But as you can see, that many bombers assisting us, we're going to be doing a lot of damage to the enemy. What I don't understand is how the hell they got here, because, you know, the Kangwa Island is owned by us, the South Koreans. And I was starting to think maybe they made their way over from Kangwa Island. More than likely what happened is they came from Yonnan, they somehow got past our Navy, and they got in here north of Seoul. So definitely rough. Won't be much left to fight for at this rate. Very true, Dave, very true. This is nuclear war at its finest. Let's put it that way. All right, guys, let's take a look at one more. Again, I'm trying to show you guys as much of this game as I can, so I want you guys to get a new, or a good idea of this new game. So I'm going to go ahead and open a new scenario, and we'll take a look at another one of the new ones. Now, I'd love to show you guys Pearl Harbor, I really would, but we're not doing Pearl Harbor this time, and the reason being we really want to improve the naval operations. So for now, we're gonna just wait. But let's do Operation Overlord. Let's go to World War II and play D-Day. Hell yeah. So I'm going to play German Army computer versus human player. Yeah, gotta be the good guys. We gotta play as the Allies. Here we go. So let's take a look here at the beaches. And by the way, if you just press W, you can take a look there at the weather, which is also an integral part of the game. Wow, look at this, guys. We got Saint-Mère-Église. Oh, Saint-Pierre-Église. I remember Saint-Mère-Église. I've watched The Longest Day way too many times, but Saint-Pierre-Église is new. So look at that. Wow, that is truly Sword, Juno, all these beautiful beachheads here. Just amazing, guys. We've also got a tremendous amount of support here. All sorts of air support. That's going to come in handy. There's Saint-Mère-Église. Beautiful. Let's try to get the hell off this beach. Look at all that support we can get. So we're going to go ahead and take this guy, basically just attack with everybody. And let's get some support here. We've got also some battleship support. So we definitely want to use that. Now, the chances of success are impossible to predict. I'd like to think with this much air superiority, we're going to do very well. And actually, the time expended is quite short. Time expended is also quite important in this game. Sometimes if you end up going ahead and pushing forward or something like this, you know, when you start using a lot of bombers, a lot of artillery, this time expended is going to increase, and that gives the enemy more time to react. So here, I don't think they have any time to react. That's a good question mark. It depends on the scenario. It really does. Totally dependent on the scenario. Now here we're actually getting a success rating. Now that's going to turn to fair. We're going to bring in some more men. There we go. 1, 2. Success is excellent. That's what we want to see. And of course, we've got some Allied Army Brigade units here. Let's get to Douvres. Khan is right there, but we're not going to be attacking Khan quite yet. We're going to use these paratroopers to go ahead and hopefully destroy these rear German guns. And as you can see here, the time expanded is much, much longer for this particular battle. Yeah, I think Piddles could very, very well be correct. But essentially, depending on the battle you're fighting, the war you're fighting, you know, for instance, this is just a battle. But if you take a look at the map here when we zoom out, you know, it looks just as intimidating. It's a little smaller, but it looks just as intimidating as our other map. However, if you're playing the Chinese Civil War campaign, you can be damn sure that each hex is probably a lot bigger than the hexes we see here. So once again, it really does depend on the battle/campaign you're playing at the time. Let's end the turn here. Again, I'm not going for any victories. I'm really just going to go ahead and see the casualty counts. I want you guys to be able to see it as well. There's all sorts of other briefings here. You can get an air briefing, recent news, expected reinforcements, recent reinforcements. Now, a lot of people have complained that, oh no, this game is way too complex for me. It really isn't. You know, we have many games that are much more complex, like the Command series. For instance, the reinforcements are assigned automatically. So these reinforcements, you really don't have to do anything. You can take a look at what reinforcements you're getting. Chemical artillery, oh my goodness. Not following the Geneva Convention, guys. But basically, you can see here just how many reinforcements are coming. And this is all going to show up mostly on turn 3. The rest of the reinforcements are going to show up on turn 4. So very, very neat stuff. First thousands will be, oh no, I don't know if we can do that. You've got to get a game I can play, and I think Command is the only game we have that I am unable to master. Put it that way. Let's go ahead and attack here. Boom, boom, fair, and some air support. Maybe we'll send in some more guys, why not? All right, let's hope for the best. Absolutely, we could do that, Mark. Nice, our guys are making it on the beach for sure. Oh, this slot machine is broken, damn it. Alright, no rounds left. And look at that, we definitely won each of these battles. Battlefield possession, Allied Army. Now, the Germans still held on to these areas, but even with this area, for instance, despite the fact that the Germans held, we destroyed 7% of the units there. We lost no men whatsoever. So let's take a look at the defender losses. Not too bad, as a matter of fact. Really not too bad at all for the Germans. How about this battle? I think here it's going to look a lot worse for them. Take a look at the defender losses, and oh yeah, 8 destroyed, 8 rifle squadrons, and as you can see, Panzerfaust, we've also got the MG34. You know, every single weapon, depending on the army you're using, is going to be quite different. You know, you're not going to have the same weapons or units, for instance, in the Iraqi army if you're going to play the Iraq-Iran war scenario. It's just not going to happen, and I love that, which means that, you know, as this game was created, a lot of research had to go into it. A tremendous amount of research. It's pretty good, not too shabby. I think we did a good job. Now it's the German army's time. And somebody mentioned something about the upper right-hand corner, so I can give you a quick rundown on what this means, essentially. The upper right-hand corner essentially focuses on the unit playing an action that particular turn. So for instance, right now we're seeing a German HQ up here, but as it moves to maybe the front lines, you know, the German infantry starts attacking, you'll see a German infantry squad, and you can get some additional information about those units. Let's go ahead, end the turn, and turn it over to the Germans. We're definitely bringing in some reinforcements from Saint-Lô. And if you see those explosions, now what that essentially is if you have an air force in the game, or if you have artillery, there's a slight chance that as the enemy moves, your air force is actually going to intercept those ground targets. And especially with the amount of planes we have here, I mean, Operation Overlord, there were a tremendous amount of Allied bombers helping out. So it makes sense that there's a lot of explosions going on right now. These are basically our bombers reacting to movement that they spot on the ground, and reacting very well, I may say. Not yet, but yeah, you got exactly what Musso said. You're gonna get some information soon. You can't say when, but you're gonna get some information soon. I can promise you that. So here the German army attacked us, and actually did not manage to do any damage. It's actually the Germans that got hit pretty hard. We disabled some units. We killed 2 MG-34 squads. Let's see, we destroyed a 120mm mortar. Of course, some truck sections here, and SDKFC. Pretty nice. So the Germans attacked, failed miserably, and now we keep on moving. Sommer-Réglisse. Let's get these paratroopers, and these are paratrooper units. And we could go ahead and start attacking. Now, at any time, guys, you could go to these buttons and you could switch. So, for instance, if you decide, I'm getting kind of bored as playing with the Allies, let me try out the Germans. You know, let's say you've played a few turns and you test out the Germans, you could always switch over to the other side. That's absolutely possible. Taking a look here at the weather, I want to make sure that, it's a bit rainy here. It's not going to go well for our landings, but I'm not too concerned. Look at that support. I think without the massive air support and the massive naval support, there's no way Operation Overlord would have succeeded, and this scenario absolutely confirms that. The naval and air support during this battle was fundamental to victory. Just fundamental. Get a little closer here with our ships. Ooh, did we just get hit? No, we're doing just fine. Okay, guys, well, we are coming to the end of this stream, so if you have any questions, make sure to let me know. Let us know in the comments down below. I don't have all the answers. I'll do my best to answer you. We will take a look here. I'm going to run down some scenarios for you guys. These are basically the new scenarios, so I'm going to go down them a little slower. Look at this. We've also got Desert Storm, and this is just to show you the hypothetical scenarios that I love about this game. Just imagine if this were to happen. So this scenario, poses what would happen if the People's Liberation Army of China attacked Iraq. I mean, that's just a fascinating idea. Why would they attack Iraq? What would it be like? It's a real, it's a really interesting war if it were to happen. And this is supposed to take place in 1991. Of course, if you want to play the last parts of World War II, the last 2 years of World War II, you could play Europe at War. And like I said before, we've got Europe at War 41 to 43 as well, and 43 to 45. Very cool stuff. Of course, over here, I'm just going to show you guys the depository, the directory here. And basically, if we just take a look, I'm not going to go into these, but this just goes to show you how many different theaters they are. Now, if you see how many scenarios are in just this particular theater, you could imagine that the amount of scenarios in each of these theaters is going to be pretty unbelievable. Of course, even just this first one, guys, has all of the classic battles from the other operational art of war games, so you know that you're going to get a bunch of extra stuff, and it's just incredible. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I really enjoyed playing. I want to go back once this game is fully released and do the Chinese Civil War fully. Maybe we'll go ahead and actually do a proper campaign of the Chinese Civil War and see if we can't win. I think it would be really fun. Personally, it's one of my favorite scenarios so far, and I can't wait to take a look at it a little bit more at length. And once again, another Red Storm at Fulda. This is another hypothetical scenario, essentially if the Cold War had turned hot, and really cool stuff. Thank you, Captain Killerbot, and thank you, Dave Zizou. Great to hear that you guys enjoyed it. Why must you encourage me? Thank you so much, guys. Well, I hope that you guys got a nice look at the new stuff here. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And like I said, these are just the new scenarios. A lot of you guys noticed that there has been a tremendous improvement to the geography of the game. We can see swamps now, we can see farmland, we can see open spaces, we can see rivers, mountains, and it's looking really good. You know, it's not just sort of a placeholder. It's actually looking quite good. Thank you again, guys. Take care. Don't waste all those sliths, and have a great day.